Hi, everyone. Kathleen Fuller here. Welcome back to episode 5. Katie, can you believe we're on episode 5?
We're doing so good. I'm so proud of us.
Yes, me too. And this has been so much fun. So thank you for everyone who's joined us for our first 4 episodes and parts. And if you're new to the Read and Crochet Along, the links to our kickoff episode and the Granny Square tutorials will be in the description box. And yeah, this project, just in a nutshell, is inspired by 60 of my novels, and I've designed granny squares to go with each book cover. And the yarn that we used is used in the book covers. So it was a very creative project. But the great thing about it is that you can just choose your own adventure. You can use any kind of yarn. You can use any size hook, any size square. You'll see that in the material section on each tutorial, I use Red Heart yarn for consistency, but the sky's the limit creativity wise. And then every part that we do 6 books, and then we do a book discussion on one book out of the 6 books. So that's basically the program in a nutshell. There's more information in the description box, also on my website, where you can find the patterns and the video links and all of that, which are also on my channel. So feel free to join us in the comments section and of this video and any videos that we do. So I think without further ado, let's look at Katie's squares from part 4. I'm excited to see them.
Okay. I enjoyed crocheting these. I did them all really quick. So I am going to show you in no particular order. But so the first one was from my Sew Into You book. And that square is this square.
Nice.
So I'm playing with we're trying something new with our background. So I don't know if I can show you both things without. No, it's letting me.
Nope,
there we go.
Looks good. Yeah.
So into you.
Yeah. No,
I enjoy that. That is a very traditional granny square and was fun to do. Just like a basic one. And then this one is this time around. So here's the book. And here is my square.
Pretty. Very nice.
I think, let me see what I did in terms of substitutions compared to what you did in your original one. For Sew Into You, I used saffron instead of gold, which I always do because I don't have gold. And I used perfect pink instead of light raspberry. So the same basic color family, just a slightly different shade for the gold and the pink. Because I didn't have the light raspberry, which I really like your light raspberry. I need to.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have really been able to tell the difference. It goes really well with the book cover.
Yeah, so, it worked out. Your light raspberry is a little bit better. Like my pink is more like her t-shirt, like the light part of her shirt, and your raspberry is more like her pants, I think.
Yeah.
But it's still in there. And then in this one, for this time around, I always use soft white because I don't have regular white. And I used amethyst instead of lavender because I don't have lavender. And I used just regular blue instead of Delft. I actually have Delft. I just... I don't know. For some reason, I grabbed regular blue. These colors are not really strictly the right color in the book. Like the purple is obviously way too dark. The blue is probably too dark. But I felt like it still felt like it.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Maintained the feeling without being really necessarily the colors in the book.
Yeah. Well, that's the choose your own adventure part. But I really like that too. I like the vibrancy of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there's that one. And then now all 6 of the books that we did this time around, I had read all of them except Amish Cradle. So I got to read a book for the first time, which I don't think has happened yet. I think so far I've read. So this was the first one. I've never read Amish Cradle. So I got to read Amish Cradle. And I got to do the square. Sorry, y'all. Sometimes I have a hard time telling with crochet what the front is and what the back is.
Yeah. Oh, that looks good. That one was a tricky one. Especially for sizing.
My sizing is a little funky, but
yeah, but you did a great job.
I'm not
with
too
that.
worried about it.
It looks great. That was a hard one to pick out the colors for. And I have another one in here. You're going to be like, really, those are the colors you picked? But it was kind of difficult because there's so much of that one particular color, the kind of the pale pink that dominates the book cover. So you kind of have to like pick a little bit from the quilt there and stuff. So really it could be anything because there's so many colors in that little baby quilt.
Well, and I didn't sub anything. These were all exactly the same colors that you used for
Mm-hmm.
that one.
Looks
So I
really
had
good.
everything.
Well
And I didn't
done.
make any changes. Then I'm going to go in through this set of books. I'll go backwards through. So I don't have the physical copies of these 3 books, but I have the Kindle version. So there are my covers. And we'll do the Innkeeper's Bride. We'll go backward here. Like this is the Innkeeper's Bride.
Mm-hmm. Did you sub on that one?
I did. I used Aaron instead of white.
Yeah,
So
looks
I
good.
don't have white, and I've been subbing with soft white, but I was actually running out of soft white because we've used it a lot. So
Right,
I
right.
had this color in my kit that was called Aaron, and I used that. I don't know if you can tell very well because it's really whiter on the cover, but Aaron was close. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
what
Looks
I went
good.
with.
Yeah, I'm
And
out
then I
of
used Perfect
soft
Pink
white
instead of
too.
light raspberry
Mhm.
because I don't have light raspberry.
Yeah,
And I used Heather Gray instead of gray because that's just the gray I have.
yeah.
So
That looks great.
I liked that square too. I liked the little puffs in the corners.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that this one it has a feel like a traditional granny square. Where's this?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. But it's very similar. So like
Yes.
the skills you use are similar.
Right.
So that I liked doing that one a lot actually. So that was the Innkeeper's Bride. And then which one's the Farmer's Bride here? Let me see. I can't tell looking at them which one's which. I think this is the Farmer's Bride. Is this the Farmer's Bride?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the Farmer's Bride. So again, I used
Mm-hmm.
Aaron instead of white because I'm just
Mm-hmm.
running out. I really liked the back of this. I like the way we constructed this.
Yeah.
That was fun. And I subbed a couple of things in this one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I used Aaron. I used green. Instead of green, I used frosty green because I don't
Mm-hmm.
have plain green. And so my options were this frosty green or like a patty green that's like an Irish green that was a little bit
Oh,
too
yeah.
green.
Yeah.
So I went with the frosty green.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're not exactly colors in the cover. See the Farmer's Bride is that, but it still feels like like a
Yeah,
cover.
it does. Definitely.
So
That's what's so
that's
cool. You
that
can
one.
just use what you have or a little shade off and it still feels like it goes with the cover. So,
Yeah, it still felt
yeah.
like it went.
Yep.
And the other colors were the same as what you used. And then my last one, and the one we're going to talk about, is the Teacher's Bride. And that
Mm-hmm.
is this one.
Did you like that one?
I liked this one. It's very similar to this one.
Yep.
A
It's
little
very,
bit
yeah.
different, but very
Mm-hmm.
similar. And I did
Yeah.
enjoy it very much. And again, I used saffron instead of gold because I don't have
Mm-hmm.
gold. Um, and I didn't use white because again, I was running out of white. So this color is actually called buff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like a beige. And I used
That,
frosty green instead of light sage because I don't have light
mhm.
sage. So I subbed a lot of this one.
No, but
But
it still
again, I
looks.
felt like
Mhm.
it's close enough.
Yeah, yeah.
You feel it. So
So one thing about that square is I felt like first of all very 70s in color choices and pattern, but also very fall. So it was very it just happened. So again, it just happened to work out
harvesty.
that the cover I don't think when you look at the cover it necessarily feels like fallish, but when you do the square, it's definitely like, oh, school's starting. So, and I have a new granny square. Yeah. No, very good. Very good. They all look
So
wonderful.
I've gotten quite the collection
Yeah.
of granny squares so far. So plus the 6 I just showed you.
Yeah.
Um, I still haven't made anything out of any of them. I am just collecting granny squares right now. I
Hmm.
probably will just wait till we have all of them. I am thinking about doing some kind of like long vest or duster if I have enough squares for sleeves
Oh, yeah.
and just piecing them together and doing just a
Hmm.
regular old what's it called, a drop shoulder where there's no it's just going to be sleeves
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
duster. That's kind of what I'm thinking of doing with them right now. But I change my mind. Like whenever I sit and for some reason decide to distract myself by thinking about my arcal, which you do on occasion. I imagine different things I might do with them. And right now, that's kind of the picture I have in my head of what I'm going to do with them. Have you written, we may have talked about this before. I can't remember, but have you written 60 books exactly? Or have you written more than that? How many books have you written?
I'm working on my 72nd book.
Wow.
So some of my like really, really early books are out of print. So I wanted to make sure everybody could get a copy of the book. So I chose ones that were in print. But yeah, I've got a few that are out of print that I wrote early on. So
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that would be kind of neat if it was 60 books exactly, but nope.
Yeah, I did. Well, I knew you're always writing new ones, and I know we've had 2 come out that we've included in the RCal as they came out. So,
and I've got 2 coming out this year too.
Yay! What have you got coming out this year?
Well, in August I've got Autumn at the Cat Cafe, and that one's about a cat cafe, obviously, and a bookstore, and it's a little bit reminiscent of the movie You Got Mail because there's 2. They're not necessarily they're not necessarily competing against each other. I don't want to give too much away, but there's definitely some clashing going on, and they both think that they have all their thinking and everything. And then I have an Amish book coming out. It's an indie book. It's called Tabitha's Homecoming, and that's coming out in September. And so that's going to be available on Amazon.
Are we going to do them in the RCal? Are we going to do them in the RCal, or can I ask that?
No, you can ask it because I haven't quite gotten that far. I don't see why we can't do them in the RCal. The only thing about Tabitha's Homecoming is because it's indie published, and it's actually published with actually I'm going to be plugging it very close to the time, but I'll plug it a little bit here. It's a birthday. So there's 12 of us Amish authors that everybody's really familiar with, and each month we chose a month, and I got to choose my birthday month, September. And so every month this year we're releasing a new one. So Tracy Fedrikowski released in January her Miriam's I can't remember what it is. It's in my newsletter though. And so I think this month of February is going to be Kelly Irvin. I can't, but don't quote me. Anyway, so those are going to be on Amazon. They're primarily on Kindle. There'll be a way to get the paperback of it in the future, but right now we're just putting it out on Kindle. And then once all of the collections together, we'll move toward that and putting it in other stores. So it's been a very different type of project, but it's been a lot of fun too.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, it is.
It really apparently shows I didn't read your newsletter this month. I usually do, but I've been so busy.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I still like you.
Thank you.
No,
please forgive me.
I mean, it's still. I mean, you can go back and read it, obviously, but no, everybody is so busy. I don't know anybody who's not busy, like incredibly busy right now.
I feel like January and even February so far have just run away from me. Like I feel behind.
I do too.
I watch a lot of airplane crash YouTube videos because I have weird interests, and they always talk about how if you get behind the plane, you can't catch up. That's how I feel like. I feel like I'm behind life and I can't get caught back up. I'm behind the airplane, y'all.
Yeah, well, behind the 8 ball, behind the airplane, running the hamster wheel. I'm like all the above on that. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe sometime when we have more time, we can talk about your airplane crash interest. That's not me side-eyeing.
If you guys ever run through my YouTube channel and look at all the things I'm subscribed to, you will see I have a wide range of seemingly unrelated interests.
I think it's interesting. I might do that sometime. Oh, you know what we need to talk about is celebrate. You've got 1,000 subscribers now, right?
I did. Well, I got it, and then I had it for like a few days, and then I didn't. And then last time I checked, I had 1,001. So I have yes, that is exciting for me.
Yeah, you hit 1,000 and you have 1,000. I mean, the way the algorithm is weird. I've dropped and then I pick up and drop. So, but yay, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
I'm planning a giveaway. Yeah, I'm looking right now. I still have 1,000 subscribers. So I was going to do a giveaway. I haven't done one in a couple of months. So I thought I'll do a really cool one when I reach 1,000. But then it kept kind of waffling between 999 and 1,000. So I was like, I'm going to wait
Yeah.
and make sure he stays kind of at 1,000. And then I'll do a giveaway. So probably if we're still at 1,000 when I do my March 1st episode, I will have something to give away.
Nice. Very nice.
Maybe
very
it'll
good.
include some Kathleen Fuller books.
That would be nice. That would be very nice. Okay, well, so we're going to move on to our book discussion of The Teacher's Bride, and that was Katie's last square. And before we start talking about or start answering questions, I wanted to show you something. So we've already seen the cover of, let's see, here's the book. And then
oh, that was a better way of doing it. You should have held up the book and I hold up the square.
I should have actually.
Instead of me with my little cell phone.
Yeah, well, I just sat here and like, well, I didn't think about that. But yeah, no, so here's the book.
I interrupted.
But so my books, I don't know if all of them are in foreign languages. A lot of them are. And usually what'll happen is I get, just a notice, and I don't even get those anymore. I think that they don't send those out for some reason, that, my book's been translated into a different language. But what I've never gotten until this book, and have not gotten since, are copies of The Teacher's Bride in a foreign language, Polish. So this is what it looks like.
Cool.
Polish. So there's that. And then turn to the back. It's hard to see, I'm sure, but it's in Polish. And
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. So everything on here is in Polish, and it is $39.99 with 39,99 ZL. So I guess that's Polish. The Polish.
Yeah, I think a lot of
Polish
European
money is what I'm trying to say.
For European maths, they have their period and their commas reversed from how we use them.
Yeah, and they have a flap here, which my don't usually have none of them have flap actually. So that's nice. You can use it to
mark as a bookmark.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So I wanted to share that before we got into the questions.
Publishers, all right, y'all need to take a note from Poland. I would like books with a flap like that. I would like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, the cover, it feels totally different too. It's a higher quality cover and everything. Just really nice. Yeah.
So how do they translate? So someone this is like before AI, because this is an older book, right? So somebody has to physically translate it from English, like a human being, into Polish.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And so here's my bio in Polish. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. So I wanted to share. I have not had a copy of a foreign translation yet. Or since then. So I don't know.
But the publisher just sent you that one so you could see it?
Well, I don't think it came from the publisher. So what they do is the publisher obviously doesn't do that. They contract out with organizations that do that. So I think and they sent me 3 copies. So yeah,
in Polish.
It was really interesting. So
maybe the Polish publisher did that.
Maybe so. I didn't really pay attention because I get stuff from my publisher, and sometimes I get stuff from Amazon a lot, and if it doesn't have like the Amazon thing on it, then I just kind of open stuff up, and I didn't really pay attention to who it was from. So, and that was a while back too, because this book was written, let me get the English version, because I won't be able to read the Polish version of it.
I think we should make you pronounce the title to us in Polish.
I don't dare. Wybranka? No, I can't do it. Sorry. I do not want to offend any Polish speakers.
Yes, if you speak Polish, we would love for you to contact us and tell us how to pronounce the title in Polish.
Oh, yeah, that would be really awesome. Oh, I would love that. Yes. Okay, so this was copyright in 2018. So that's been a long time since. It's almost been that's been 8 years.
8 years,
yeah. It's crazy to think. Everything's going so fast. All right, book discussions. Get back on track here. Okay.
Sorry.
So if you have a copy of if you have a copy of The Teacher's Bride, you can go to the back of the book, and the discussion question section is there. if you like to follow along. So, Katie, I'm going to give you question number 1. When Ruby arrived in Birch Creek, she struggled with self-esteem. At the end of the book, she had gained confidence. What do you think brought about this change in her?
Oh, I think that was just having some successes. So she came to Birch Creek with like a history of having failure, made mistakes, not failures,
Mm-hmm.
but having she had like a history of mistakes that she was trying to live with that everybody around her knew. And when she got to Birch Creek, she had like a clean slate. So that was helpful, but she still had that psychological baggage of, everybody thinks I can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then she got to Birch Creek and she struggled with the school at first, but by the end of it, she's really figured out her niche with the small, younger, not smaller, younger children.
Mm-hmm.
She's really come into her own. She's being very successful and she's done it herself. Like she figured this out herself. She built, kind of came up with a lot of the solutions herself. And I think that is what caused her confidence to really grow throughout the book.
Yep, you nailed it. That's exactly it. And that's the thing, is that we gain confidence from those successes, which is
Yeah.
why we can't let our failures, or what we perceive as our failures, get in the way, because we learn from our failures, we gain confidence from our successes. And
And she
so
even always had a very positive attitude, even when she was unsure of herself. She
yeah,
was tends to look on the bright side, which I
right.
think is helpful.
Yeah, being an optimist. And I think that was also part of her issue, not feeling like she felt like she fit in. Just, being herself. And then she had to come to find that, being herself through those successes was okay. You don't have to be something. People will accept you for who you are, those that care about you especially. So, yeah, and I wanted to have that contrast between her and Christian, because Christian was so different in that respect. Very much, as when I would talk about this book, I would say he's like the Amish Spock in a way. But then people started to go, nah, he's more like Amish Sheldon. And I thought,
That's
oh,
what
that
I
kind of
always
makes
thought
more
on Miss
sense.
Sheldon Cooper.
Amish Sheldon, yeah, yeah. So,
If you could
um,
convince Sheldon Cooper to believe in God.
yeah, really. Yep.
His mother
So,
tried really hard at that.
yes, yes, she did. And I
Not a lot
and
of
in
luck.
the fictional world, she's still working at it. She's not giving
She
up on
is.
her boy.
She's still on
Yep.
her. Good for her.
Yep. Okay, question number 2.
All right. Did you ever have show and tell day when you were in school? And what kinds of things did you bring to show your teacher and classmates?
Okay, so yes, and I was so long ago when I was a little kid, and we did show and tell. But I do remember bringing. So my dad, when we would go on vacation, it would almost exclusively be driving, and a lot of times we would be going to visit family either in Michigan or New York. So we were going
From
through
Arkansas? Did you grow up
from
in Arkansas?
Arkansas. Yeah, from Arkansas. So
That's a long drive.
so we would we would go, especially if we were going out east, we would make sure that we would stop at like Civil War sites or historical places,
Mm,
especially like in
fun.
Virginia, Williamsburg. You go into Boston, or you go into, Philadelphia, that kind of stuff. So anytime I did a show and tell that I can remember, it was always bringing some kind of souvenir, because my dad was big on having souvenirs. He still is. Had some kind of souvenir or postcard or something to kind of show that had been somewhere. Okay, so that was not thrilling to the other students. They didn't care. The teacher was impressed. The students could care less. So I never had a show and tell where I brought anything fun. It was always something educational, which just kind of tells you how my dad is. We never went to any theme parks. We never went to it was always, we're going to learn something. And I loved it because I love history. So for me, it was fun, but not for everybody else. What about you? Did you do show and tell?
I remember doing it like way back in kindergarten. I don't remember what I brought. Um, we did vacations that were fun, some, but mostly vacations for us were going to visit relatives. Like we lived, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours away from my grandparents. So vacation meant we drove to my grandparents. But I can remember a couple of vacations. Once my mother, brave woman that she is, decided we were going to go to San Diego, California
Oh,
from I don't remember I think we lived in Dallas. We either lived in Dallas or in Lubbock, but from Texas. She packed up 4 kids in her minivan, and we did some very illegal things. We took the middle bench seat out of the minivan
Mm-hmm.
so that there was the back seat that seated 3. Then there was a big space of floor, and then the 2 front bucket seats. And on long stretches of highway, she would let us unbuckle and sprawl out on the floor. And if we were in town, she would make us all sit in a seat with a seatbelt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
drove
Smart
all the
woman.
way across. What'd you go through? New Mexico and Arizona to get to California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the way to
No.
San
Yeah.
Diego. And then we
Wow.
went to SeaWorld and the San Diego Zoo. And
Mm-hmm.
then drove all the way back. And I don't know. My youngest sister was 2 at the time because she got lost at the dolphins. And none of us will
Oh,
ever forget
no.
that.
Oh,
She was in a
wow.
stroller and we had been at the dolphins and she really liked them. And we had left to go see something else. And we all looked down at the stroller. The stroller was empty. She had unbuckled herself and taken herself right back over to the dolphins. She was not done yet. But I mean, we panicked. We're in
Oh,
California. She
yeah.
is 2.
Oh, my
We
gosh.
lost her. So we did that. We did that vacation. And then we probably did more than that one, but that's the one that I remember most. Now as an
Yeah.
adult, I get souvenir yarn
There you go. I do
when I go
too.
on vacation.
If I go somewhere new, I try to find a yarn store and get yarn from
Mm-hmm.
that yarn store. Yep.
And if
Yep.
I
That's what I
can,
do.
something dyed locally or
Mm-hmm.
something I can't get.
Yes.
Well, it's not hard to find something you can't get where I live because we have Hobby Lobby and Michael's and
Well,
Walmart.
right. And
So
we don't have, yeah, I have to go to Little Rock or down to Hot Springs, Malvern to get yarn. I want to go to the shop in Arkadelphia, but yeah, so my parents would do the same thing, even though I think you're more of a millennial, right? Are you considered a
I do
millennial
not
or?
identify as a millennial.
Okay. Okay. All
I am in
right.
this weird place. So I've seen ones that put me in with millennials, and I've seen groupings that put me in with not Generation X because I'm definitely too young for that. But there's like this subculture group they call like Zennials, or they'll have different names for it. But like
Oh, okay.
I
I
am
didn't know
old
that.
enough that I printed things on a dot matrix printer. I had a rotary phone. I
Mm-hmm.
played Oregon Trail. Like a lot of the things that the Gen Xers did, they were still
Mm-hmm.
doing when I was in early elementary school. But my high school was, I graduated in 2002. So we did all the millennial things. I did all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
beginning of the cell phone, the beginning of the internet, the beginning. So I identify with a lot of the things that both groups went through.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very transitional. I'm a very, but I identify more like I feel like I have more in common with the Gen Xers than I do with most millennials. Which
Gotcha. Gotcha.
ironically, my sister, who's only a year younger than me,
Uh-huh.
she would say, "Oh, I definitely identify more with the millennials."
Millennials.
So,
That's interesting.
and my brother's
Um,
definitely a millennial, but I feel
is
like
he?
I'm a little bit more in limbo, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, the reason I bring that up is because I knew that I was quite a bit older than you. So what my parents would do is when we were really little, they had a VW bus because, like I said, we would go visit family, and it was always Michigan or New York, East Coast or whatever. And so they took the middle seat out, and my mom would just put a
mhm.
playpen in there. And what was I don't think we had seat belts. I don't think there were even seat belts in the back of I don't remember seat belts, but my
Yeah, I
mom,
mean, if it was from the 60s or 70s, I mean, I was
yeah, there
born
were
in
no seat
83
belts.
and there were no car seats. Like my mom's like, I took you
Yeah,
home from the hospital in my lap. Like nobody
right. Right.
thought anything
And
of it.
then, yeah, so, and I remember, even like being older and out of the playpen in that bus, just, they'd take the seat out and we'd just do the exact same thing. And it was great because we weren't all just, I mean, I don't want to get into any kind of ethical discussion about seat belts because I do love a seat belt and
Wear
always
your
wear
seatbelts,
mine.
folks. It is the law.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think
Obey
it,
the law.
but they would do that. So yeah, those were good times.
Oh, yeah.
And then when my kids were young, we would take them on vacation, a bunch of driving and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did the whole riding around in the pickup truck beds, and it's
Yeah.
a miracle, it's a
I
miracle
know it is
anybody
a
survives.
miracle. It is a miracle, but we made it. We made it. Okay, so question number 3 is Ruby had found her purpose in teaching. What do you think your purpose is, and how did God lead you to find it?
Oh, that I don't think. Well, okay. So our purpose is not a mystery. The Bible is so very clear that we exist to uh, worship and glorify God and enjoy Him forever.
Right.
So that is my purpose. Now, how I live out that purpose has changed a lot from day to day, depending on the season in my life. So, for a long time, I was a nurse, and I found purpose in helping others to heal and to move through their illness or their injury or something like that. Now I find purpose in homeschooling my kids. I try to use my channel in a way that brings glory to God and celebrates Jesus and what He's done for us in His death, in His life, and His death on the cross.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people, I don't know, I don't believe that there's just one way that you can fulfill your purpose, because like I said, I believe we all have the same purpose. We are
Yeah.
here to glorify God and to worship Him, praise Him, and enjoy Him forever. So that's our purpose. I'm poorly quoting the Baptist Catechism, or just, where's my catechism book? Let me give you the right answer here, because what do I do with it? Oh, there it is. Let me give you the worded it correctly here. Question 1. Let's see. Question 2. Where is it? Come on. Y'all, I'm not doing good. I could have sworn it was early on in here. What is the... All right, well,
Well,
I'll have to hunt it down.
while you're looking for it, I can say that I totally agree with you on that. That we have that overarching purpose that every Christian has, worshiping God, serving others, especially. But and I also agree, at least in my own life, that my purpose has changed as my life has changed, because I started out as a special ed teacher and thought that's what I was going to do. And I did do it off and on throughout the years, but I homeschooled my children too for a little while, and I thought that that was what I was going to do. And then the longest thing I've done is my writing career, because that has not been interrupted since 2000. But I've done different things like homeschool my kids, taught school. Now I'm doing something else that I can't really say right now, but I'm hoping to share it in the future. But also the
I know
writing
what
is,
she's doing.
yes,
I
yeah,
know what
yeah.
she's
I wish I could
doing.
say, but I can't. So, um,
I guess I better not either
anyway,
then.
yeah, it's yeah. Eventually I'll be able to talk about it, but just can't do it now. And but it's something really great. So, but the thing is that God puts you in different places at different times to do different things. But it's always going to be to serve Him and glorify Him, serve others. And so, because in reality, if we're going to pluck Ruby out of fiction and put her in Amish reality, she will not be a teacher. She'll be a teacher until she gets married, and once she's married, then she will become the wife
Wife
of
and a
Christian
mother,
and a mother, and then her
hopefully.
purpose will be to raise the children and the family. And so, but yeah, but she definitely, needed to find that thing that was hers and that she was successful at.
Yep. And I'm terrible. I know the question I'm thinking of is in here somewhere, but I'm not finding it
Mhm.
quickly. So it's something to the effect of, what is the chief end of man? And the answer is something to the effect of, to worship and glorify God forever, enjoy Him forever.
Right.
What? Oh, my kid's doing it for me. See, they're
Oh,
so much better than me.
nice.
What is the chief
Nice.
end of man? What's the answer? Oh, so I did say it right. To glorify God and enjoy Him forever. So
Yes.
he's saying it to me. Like, I think, oh, there's a catechism. We learn. You answer, I don't know if y'all know what a catechism is. I'm gonna plug my. So it's a set of questions and answers that you use to teach children, and clearly adults need it too. Theological truths. So they start with a question. Like the very first one in here is, who is the first and chiefest being? And the answer is, God is the first and chiefest being. So there's a lot of questions in the Baptist catechism, and there's more than just, there's all kinds of catechisms. Lots of different denominations will have them. There's 114 questions in the Baptist catechism. So,
Oh, wow. I didn't realize there were so many of those.
yeah, that's a long one.
And that's
Some
good
there's
though, but
shorter
that's,
versions, but you
yeah.
teach them to your children so that they have
Mhm.
an understanding, like foundational theological truths
Exactly.
in their
Exactly. We need
lives.
to, well, I think we need to push more catechism study.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's useful.
Absolutely.
And I don't have all
Yeah.
114 memorized, and I did
Hmm.
not necessarily teach all 114 like by rote to my kids, but we've used them, like we've all read through them and we've used them to remind ourselves of truths
Right.
because we
Right.
forget.
We do. We need the reminders. Definitely.
Yep, we've squirreled a lot today. But I will bring us back in and ask us the
Yes.
last question. Who is your favorite character in The Teacher's Bride and why?
Well, I do love Christian.
I do too. He's
I
so
do love
funny.
Christian. I and the reason why is because I can clearly remember when I set out to write a different kind of Amish hero. And I
He's
didn't want
different.
him to, yeah, or Amish lead, back when we started writing, when I started writing, it was called the male and female lead characters were a hero and a heroine. Well, those terms are pretty outdated, but they're still stuck in my brain. So the male lead, I wanted to do something really different, and I wanted to write a male teacher. And so I had to do research because I've never met a male Amish teacher, but they are out there.
I was gonna
And I
say,
was,
do they exist?
oh yeah, they do. They do exist. And the thing is that you think about it, if they're teaching, they're not going to leave their profession after they get married. They might, but they might also stick with it. And so so you maybe a handful of them, or maybe even more than that across the country, but there's not very many of them. And those that do go into the profession, since there's not a lot of them, it's very female dominated. You have to have that love of education, the love of the kids, and all that. So I wanted to have a character that did that, but I also wanted to contrast what kind of personality he had, because a lot of us, we I'm sure we've had one or two male teachers or coaches that are just a bundle of fun. I mean, they love kids, they love action, they love all this stuff. Christian is not that person, but that doesn't mean he doesn't love education and teaching children.
I
So I
had a
wanted,
history teacher very similar to Christian in high school.
oh yeah, so we've all had those teachers too. So I wanted to have that kind of that difference of he's in a profession, in a community, in a faith that doesn't normally have very many, and then also he's just a odd duck. And so all these different contrasts, and he needed to get married, and for him to fall in love with somebody who's complete 180 from him was just a joy to write. I love those kind of characters when they're opposite and when they do something completely different. And we've got a book in this part of the arcal that has a character that is the same way. So not the same personality as Christian, but does something different from what you would expect. So
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed writing those. Now, you says you love Christian, but is he your favorite character?
Ruby's my favorite. Ruby's my favorite. I so identify with her. I am so like all right, let's go do it. And it might succeed and it might not, but boy, how do we try?
Exactly. Yep.
I really love Ruby. And I know you didn't have the Big Bang Theory in mind when you were writing this. I don't
Hmm.
know exactly when the Big Bang Theory came out and all that, but Ruby even she's not a total one-to-one with Amy, but she has some like Amy's positive, like
Hmm.
optimistic outlook on things and her desire to have fun. And so I see some of that in Ruby. So she reminds me a little bit of Amy, not as much as Christian reminded me of Sheldon, but
Right.
I always
So,
liked Amy and I love Ruby.
yeah, so here's the funny thing. I don't know either because we did not watch so my parents love the Big Bang Theory because my dad is literally Sheldon, and that's a whole nother topic. But we love I mean, my parents love the Big Bang Theory, and we're always telling us to watch it. I know we don't want to watch it. Well, after it was all over and everything, and they did reruns, We did watch it, but that must have been like in 2022, 2023, something
Yeah,
like
that would have
that.
been after it was
So
all
I
over.
had no, that's why I said it, because I've watched lots of Star Trek. My husband loves Star Trek. So that's why I went to Spock. But that's why when everybody said Sheldon, I was like, oh, okay. And then I checked out Sheldon and was like, oh my gosh, that is correct. And now that you bring the Amy parallel in there, it's just funny.
She's
And
not quite as like I said, she's not quite this, like, she doesn't reflect Amy as much as Sheldon reflects um Christian. She's
right,
not
right.
she's not that close, but she's still got some of the same
Because you look at her arc throughout
characteristics.
the, right, if you look at Amy's arc throughout the series, she gets more and more of that.
Opens up.
Opens up and
Mm-hmm.
positive, and she has to be in order to deal with Sheldon. So she has to be that kind of personality. So it's very interesting. But yeah, so it's just it's funny how characters form themselves and they become unique, but yet just like, we all know people that are similar to us or complete opposite of us. It's a reflection of reality. I always find it fascinating, the whole psychology of it.
Well,
But
and the reality is that good characters are good characters. We have character tropes in literature for a reason.
yeah.
Like, I love Harry Potter. I have a son who loves Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, does he like to argue with me that J.K. Rowling just totally pirated everything from the Lord of the Rings. And I can see the parallels. I can, but I don't think that
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened. I think that
Mm-hmm.
good characters and truths and themes in literature are just good characters, truths, and themes in literature. And we tell
Yeah.
each other the same stories, throughout the ages over and over and over again because they're true, because they have a ring of authenticity to them.
Yeah.
So I
And
think that's
relatability.
just good character writing is just good character writing.
Right. And relatability too, because we
Mm-hmm.
can't relate to, well, we can't relate to a plant. So, or a piece of fruit
Not
or a piece of
not unless
furniture
we
or,
anthropomorphize that plant and fruit quite a lot.
right. Which has to be that
Now I'm
relatability.
thinking of Elf, and they're writing the book about the tomato, the vulnerable tomato on a farm, or a peach.
A peach.
Sorry, if you've
That's
never
okay.
seen Elf, it's a tiny little side thing in Elf. They're like, what's more
Oh,
vulnerable
you
than a
know what?
peach?
I'm the only person on the planet that has not seen Elf or read
You
Harry
haven't seen
Potter.
Elf?
Haven't seen Elf, haven't read Harry Potter. It gets to the point where it becomes a point of pride that you're so unique that you haven't, like, I don't want to be part of the group. I just want to be unique. So I'm not gonna, it's kind of to that point with me on some of this, but yeah, I
Well,
know,
Elf has
I
quickly
need to
become
see
one of my
them.
favorite Christmas movies. It cracks me up
Yeah,
every year.
yeah.
And I love
Okay,
Harry
well,
Potter. And I don't care who knows it. And I don't care if everyone else loves Harry Potter.
I mean, and you're in good company. A lot of people
Yeah.
love Harry Potter. So, and I probably would love Harry Potter too if I read it, but
And
I'm
I
just gonna
tried to
hold
love Lord of
out.
the Rings, but that was just so boring.
No,
Ugh, I can't read it. I've
even,
tried to read it, and I can read, like, I
oh,
read Tolstoy and stuff. Like, I can read some big things and heavy things,
mm-hmm.
but I cannot get through Lord of the Rings.
Huh. Did you watch the movies at least?
I have watched the movies once, and dear Lord, that was one time too many.
No, we watch them every
Not
year.
a
All
fan.
of them. Hobbit, the whole, all
I
500
like The
hours
Hobbit.
of them.
The
Yeah.
if I had to pick a movie of the Lord of the Rings to watch, I like The
Mm-hmm.
Hobbit. That one's the more fun one, but
Oh.
no, just I feel like we spent, how long are those movies? 6 hours to get a ring into a volcano.
But it's not about that. It's about the adventure.
I know, but
I know you fought with your son about this, so I won't.
yeah. Well, I mean, he can make the same argument for Harry Potter. It took her 7 books for a bad guy to defeat a group of high school kids. Yes,
That's
yes, it did.
true. That's true.
So I get it, but for
Yeah.
some reason, Harry Potter captures my imagination, and Lord of the Rings bores me to tears.
It's
And
okay.
I don't know what it is. I mean, I like C.S. Lewis, love his stuff, and he
Mm-hmm.
and Tolkien were like, two peas
Yeah,
in a
best
pod or
friends.
whatever.
Yeah.
But I can't get through Tolkien. I even tried listening to it because
Mm-hmm.
I read a lot, but I listen a lot. I'm in the car a lot. I
Yeah.
can't listen. I just can't pay attention. Because after we went through all the 7 Harry Potter books, we did them as a family at one point, and my
Mm-hmm.
son was like, "Now let's do Tolkien." So we got through The Hobbit, and we started the first book, whichever of Lord of the Rings and
Mm-hmm.
Fellowship of the Rings. Did we even finish that one? No, we never even finished it. I couldn't stand it. It was not there. My kids probably, Levi's read all of them, and he's read the one, all the little, what's the one about the guy with you, Tom Bombadil? Yeah, he's read all those.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all can hear my kids. I don't know if my mic picks them up or not, but
I can hear them. I can't hear what they're saying, but
yeah.
maybe I don't have headphones on, so it's a lot.
Maybe it's a
clearer.
problem with me. Maybe I don't have a good enough imagination and I need something simpler. I don't know.
Well, everybody's got their own thing. I mean, I'm starting Pride and Prejudice, and
I
right
love
now
Jane Austen. I've read everything she's ever written.
I haven't read Jane Austen, so I decided I needed to do that. And I'm like 2 pages in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's all dialogue. It's all dialogue.
Yes.
And I've been
Talk
told I
about
can't
character
write
building. Jane Austen, she's a master.
Yeah, we could have a discussion about that. But
so talking about weird YouTube things I watch Dr. Octavia Cox, who does nothing but give oral essays on Jane Austen themes and literature.
Really?
Love it. Go read the book and then go look on YouTube for Dr. Octavia Cox and look at some of her things on Pride and Prejudice. She did, at Christmas, she did a Jane Austen tidbit advent calendar. So just like a little 5-minute video with some kind of tidbit about Jane Austen last December. Yeah, I tell you, I have a weird eclectic.
Oh, no, I do too. I like all kinds of eclectic things, and I think that's what makes us well-rounded people.
Yeah.
So
everybody thinks all I do is knit, and that's not true.
Nope.
Sometimes I crochet or weave while I listen to Jane Austen.
That's right.
Or airplane crash stories.
Or Harry Potter.
Or Harry Potter.
Yep.
All right. So folks, we need to wrap this up. We have been chit-chatting for forever now. And it is never too late for you to join the ARCAL. You can hop in and join anytime. You can knit, you can crochet as much as you want to. We do 6 books and 6 granny squares every 2 months, every 8 weeks or so.
8 weeks, yeah.
And so you can just decide, I want to just crochet the granny squares, or I just want to read the books, or I just want to crochet 2 granny squares and read 3 books, or whatever combination you want to mix it up in. That's what you can do. You can join in anytime. You can stay as long as you want, pop out when you have all the granny squares you want, or when you want to move on to something else. You can go back. Our videos are up. You can watch the old videos, do the old patterns. It's really just a very laid back thing. You should have plenty of time to do 6 granny squares in 8 weeks. I don't think it takes more than a couple of hours to do a granny square most of the time. So we tried to space it out so that nobody's feeling rushed or anything like that. Getting all the books read in 8 weeks can be a little more of a challenge, depending on how much time you have and how fast you read. But yeah, join us, please. We would love to see your work. You can do hashtag RCAL on Facebook or Instagram, so we can see what you guys are working on, and you can comment in the video and tell us about it. We would love to engage with you guys and other people who are working on it. Am I leaving anything out, Kathy?
No, you covered everything. Excellent. What she said.
Yeah. So now we will get you guys ready with the books and squares that we will be doing in part 6. So I haven't seen the part 6 squares yet.
Okay.
So Kathy and I are really good about keeping things separate so that I don't get to see what she's designing until she shows it on the video. So this will be my first look. And she doesn't get to see what I did with her design until I show her on the video. So
yeah. And so it's nice to have that, that pure first response to everything. Okay,
unscripted,
so
unedited,
unscripted. Oh yeah, well, mostly unscripted.
Technically we have a little bit of the script, but.
So what we're doing this part for part 5 is we are going to do the Amish letters series and also 3 anthologies. So I'm going to start with the first book in the Amish letters, and this is Written in Love. And
this was, I think, the first book of yours I read.
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah. And this is also going to be our book selection pick. So I want to tell you a little bit about this book because it was a book I wrote and I hated it when I wrote it. And I've never hated a book when I know. And I think what happened was when I was writing it, we were in the middle of a move. And so my daughter had, because even though it released in 2018, I usually write books like they're usually from the time I start writing them 18 months until they're published, it's, 18 months. So I was in the middle of a move and all kinds of upheaval in my
Well,
life.
it's
So
my
I
first
couldn't.
Amish book I ever read of
Hmm?
yours. It's
It's
the
the first
first
Amish
Amish
book.
book.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
read sorry, I was thinking I just lied to y'all. I don't want to lie to y'all. It was the
Hmm.
first Amish one of yours I read because I did
Yeah, because
read the
Maple Falls, right?
Maple Falls series first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, with this book, which actually this book came out, like you see, this is a smaller version, but when it came out, I just thought it was I just didn't like it. And I do not know how to judge my own writing because this book actually won an award and it won a big award. It was the 2018 Romantic Times Inspirational Book of the Year. And Romantic Times was an industry magazine that I believe started in the 80s, but especially in the 90s and the 2000s leading up to 2018. It's right before the digital age where everything went digital. It was a great magazine for readers and writers alike. And so to win an award from them, they even did they do a conference. So it was in Reno, Nevada, which I'd never been. And my son lives in Colorado and he joined me for it. And the ceremony, it was like an Oscar ceremony. It was, you're on a stage, they had an MC. There was
Fancy.
what is her name? It'll come to me. An actress that actually had turned to writing and she was one of the MCs and everything. And it was just very cool. And then my son being there, it was really great. And now I've never been on stage where like spotlights are like right on you kind of a thing. So it was really cool. But yeah, so it was the very last year they did the magazine. It was the very last award ceremony and the very last award. So this
Wow.
book is pretty special and it ended up getting a starred review in Publishers Weekly, which means, those are hard to get. So clearly I
Did
was
you ever reread it and go back and see if your feelings about it changed?
No, because I don't reread my books. But I was writing out the questions though, and as I was writing the questions out I kind of made a bit of a mix up. But I was looking at the discussion questions, and everything came back. Everything came back from the story, and I was like, yeah, I now know it was somehow, and I attribute it to God. I always do that with my writing because it's kind of magical how books get written and everything. Um, it was a story that I wanted to tell, definitely, but all the pieces were there, and so I can't judge my own writing. But anyway, this book is very special to me, and it's going to be our first book and our book club selection. And here is the square.
Ooh, I like that. Is that pale
Yeah, and I
yellow?
also loved this cover. Oh my gosh, the cover is amazing. Just
I
the
like the cover of this book too.
Yeah, it's really great. So this is our first square, the Written in Love square. Okay. The book two, I don't have the mass market copy of that. I have the trade that came out first. This is the second book, and this is a promise of a letter. Oh, and here's the other thing. I forgot to tell you about this book. So Phoebe, the lead female character, is the beginning of the Brauntrager family. So for some crazy reason, I decided to give this woman just a passel of brothers, all brothers. She's the only female. And so then it was like, oh my gosh, I have to give them all siblings. So is there like 15 books or something altogether?
It's
So,
the
and so
Birch
kind of,
Creek series is big.
it's big.
Because that was
Yeah.
the first Amish book of yours I read, and
Hmm.
I was pulling things off Goodreads, and they were just sort of lumped in trilogies. So I
Yeah.
read them
Hmm.
all out of order. I
Oh,
read the groups of three in order.
yeah.
And
Hmm.
so, like the first, I spent 2023 or 2024, I think, reading these, and so then I would be like, oh wait, I know another person from like I was all
Yeah.
mixed
Yeah.
up.
Well,
I think I kept emailing you going, okay, where's the story about this person? Because clearly
mhm.
I've missed it, and you kept having to go back and be like, okay, you're reading them out of order.
Yeah.
That one's here, this one's there.
And I tried to make them where they didn't have to be in order, but then you really do like to know, like, who
Well,
got
you
married to
can
who. And
understand. Like I
yeah,
understood the stories, but it would just be
yeah.
like a name would come up and be like, wait, I read this person. So, oh, now it's the little brother, but I read their story already. Or someone
Hmm.
else's name would come up. And since I wasn't reading them in order, I would miss. I'm like, all right, I know she's got to have something more about this person somewhere. Where is
Hmm.
it?
Right. Yes. And then some of them are in novellas too, because it just ended up getting to be this big community. But that was really great. So
So that's how you get
so
to make a
here's
friend with the author. Keep emailing them going, where do I find this character's story?
yeah.
And they either block you or they become your new best friend.
There you go. There you go. So here's the promise of the letter. The promise of a letter. And what I love about this cover is my mom's favorite flower was sunflowers. So she passed away 3 years ago. And so when I showed her this cover, she just fell in love with it. And this is the one where I was saying that there's another character that is different than so she is actually a mechanic now, not a car mechanic, but I just seriously have the confidence that she could actually work on cars too if she needed to. But that was something very, again, I wanted to do something different. And how have being a mechanic and working for an Amish man, how that kind of doesn't really work. Um, but not to give spoilers out in the story. And also, she's a very tall girl, and I'm very tall, so I wanted to write a character that was my height or taller. So that was always good. So tall girls, you'll like this story. But here's the square
Let's
for
have the
Promise
hard
of a
copies of
Letter.
that one.
Looks
Ooh, I
kind of
like that
different on.
one.
Yeah, it looks kind of different on camera though. It's not. I don't know if it's because my background color, but yeah, the blue is looking a little less blue. But anyway, so this is the Promise of the Letter square. I think you're going to like all these squares because they're very much the classic granny square pattern.
Yeah, which I enjoy doing.
Yeah,
Um,
they're nice, and I like the ones that have texture that are different. So we're very different in that. All right, the third book in the series is Words from the Heart. So in her, okay, so we've got tall girl here, Leanne. No, it's Leanna. Yeah,
I don't
Leanna,
know.
sorry.
I read these
Leanna and
almost in
Ivy.
a couple of years.
Yeah, Leanna and Ivy are best friends, and
And I
Leanna's
and
what,
Ivy
six,
like teeny tiny.
oh, 4 foot 11, something like that.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of that was my thing. I have a lot of friends that are shorter, much shorter than me. I'm not sure why, but I do have a lot of much shorter friends. So I wanted to
Because
go ahead
they
and
need
do that.
somebody who can reach the top of the shelf for them.
Well, that's true. That's very true.
You serve a
Um,
purpose.
yeah, that's exactly it. But for Ivy too, is like the guy that she ends up falling for is like super tall. So again, like the opposites thing. And this introduces Sevilla.
Who I
Sevilla
love.
is, yes,
Love,
Sevilla
love
is
Sibylla.
she's like she's like perpetually in her 70s or 80s. She just doesn't age in any of the books. And she's a matchmaker, and her story is in here.
Well, maybe
And
she, we'll just say maybe she was 69 when you started and,
mhm.
81 when you finished.
Yeah, I think so. Well, she could be anything. It doesn't matter because she's still kicking. But and then also I wrote Noah, who is the male lead. He has Meniere's disease, and
Yes.
that was
My
something I wanted to.
sister-in-law has that.
Oh,
In
really?
fact, she just got diagnosed with it in the last couple of years, and I actually knew what it was
Mm.
because of your book.
I didn't know what it was. I actually got inspired from the story of Alan Shepard, who was one of the first astronauts. And he actually
Yeah.
went up in space. He went to the moon. And the first time he went up into space, he was fine, but he ended up getting Meniere's disease and he had surgery. And this was back in the 60s. And he was able to go back up and he went to ended up, I think he walked on the moon. So it was a disease I always wanted to try to, I did research on. I was very interested in it. And it's not an easy disease either. So it's
Yeah.
very tough. And but so I wanted to kind of explore that through Noah. So that's this one. And then this square is the one that
Ooh, I
goes
like that.
with,
That's pretty.
yeah. Okay, so we've
I like
got
that.
that square. And then our next one, okay, this is an interesting one. So this is an Amish wedding. And this was one of the first novellas I did. I think it's the fourth one novella because we've got the other three here. And the thing about I think this was the last one that we did that actually had crossover characters within the book. So when we first started writing anthologies with the different Amish authors that were at my publishing house at the time, we would try to have all the characters, be related to each other somehow, all know each other, be in the same community or something like that. It was difficult. It was difficult. It was really
Yeah,
hard
like
on the
Daniel.
editor.
Daniel just
Yeah.
poofed, be gone.
Yep. So, anyway, it was very difficult on
Things
the
got
editor.
lost.
Yeah, it was very difficult on the editor and trying to read all these stories. And the novellas were a little longer then. They were 30,000 and now they're more 20,000, 25,000.
I did like them
So
being a little longer,
do you?
actually.
Well, you can explore
Yeah.
that. You can explore the
You can
story
get,
more.
yeah, you get a little more. Let's get a little more that way.
Get a little more story. Yeah. So this is an Amish wedding. And then this is an interesting square. This is one that I wish I would do over, but I'm not going to do it over. So this is the square that
I
goes
like
with
that
this.
too. What do you
Well,
not like about it?
what I love the pattern and the coral. It's again, this is what I was talking about before, like Amish cradle. The coral is from the quilt here.
Yeah.
I think what I would do is I would do the white and maybe brown or the green. Let's hold it up and then do the coral around it instead of having it.
Oh.
It's kind of stark in the middle, but you know what? And feel free to do that. But this is,
I was gonna say, maybe
I
I'll do that for you and you can decide if you like it better or not.
yeah, I may not like it better, but I thought this was fun. The nice thing about this pattern is you learn how to do color work and how to carry your yarn and all those kinds of things. So once you learn how to do color
Ah,
work, you can do buffalo plaid, you can do tapestry crochet, all the things. So
that'll be
that's
good
it's
because when are my guest designs coming up?
June,
What
I
part?
think.
So
June.
that's part 7.
Yeah.
So you will be glad to have this experience. You will be glad to have this experience for part 6 in preparation for the things I am doing in part 7.
Excellent. Good.
I've done 3. I've designed 3. I've got 3 completely designed and
Hmm.
everything's done. And I'm sitting here with no ideas for the other 3. So
They'll come
I need
to
to get
you.
on that.
They'll
Yeah, they
come
will.
to you.
That's how what's happened with these. Like the idea
Hmm.
came to me and then I had to get it out of my head and into yarn and on paper because it was
Right. Yeah.
so
Yep.
I'm sure the same
That's
thing will
how it
happen.
works with writing too. Get the story out. Amish Generation. So the next two anthologies are actually, well, this one has 4 stories that are original that go with this theme. And the fun thing about this book is that I got to write about young love, second chance love, never too late love. So all different age groups and things like that, and how they approach romance and bringing in their world experiences, their life experiences. So, and this is, I think, my favorite square bit because it's got purple in it. We've done something similar to this. The Amish harvest square had a similar pattern here, but this one doesn't have the texture that one has. So this will seem
Yeah,
familiar.
that's
And I
pretty. I'm
love
gonna have to figure
purple.
out. Yeah, I don't have that color purple, so I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do instead.
Well, I think any color purple would work. I like purple and mint together a lot. That's why I
Yeah,
really
that's
like
pretty.
this one. Yeah. And then the last one is oh, wait a minute, I gotta fix one little part on here or it's gonna look funky. Is a surprise, actually. This is an Amish family. The book's not a surprise. This has two novellas in it that you've already read or possibly will read with the Arcal. A Gift for Anne-Marie, which is an Amish Second Christmas, and then A Heart Full of Love, which is an Amish Cradle. So, but there's 2 original ones in this one. And this is all has to do with families, obviously. That was an easy theme. And so, welcome to, whoops, obviously haven't
Oh,
done my ends yet.
fun.
Welcome to the patriotic But it goes with the
It does. It
yeah.
works.
Yeah. So I was like, well, probably should save this one until July, but I didn't know until I started designing it what it was actually going to look like. So so this is an Amish family square. And yeah, so those are the 6 squares that we're doing for part 5 our cow.
For part 6,
And
this is part 5.
oh, part 6. I'm sorry. Math. I don't do math. I'm trying to see. Yeah. So no, I explained everything I wanted to tell you all about the books, and I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you enjoy doing the squares.
All right. So your assignment, should you choose to accept it, is to crochet these 6 squares and read these 6 novels. Or like we talked about, whatever combination or parts of that you want to pick and choose. We will be back in about 4 weeks. So we've been dropping these out, I think, on the 3rd Friday of every month, every other month. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of the books are available for purchase. The links are on Kathleen Fuller's website, kathleenfuller.com, or you can always use, Amazon or Barnes and Noble, or I don't know where people buy books anymore.
Yeah, Books a Million.
I was going to say Walden's,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's in existence anymore. I think that closed a long
Walden's.
time ago.
Yeah.
Walmart. I found some of them at Walmart.
Yeah.
I don't know, where else do people buy books, Kathleen?
eBay.
Books a Million, Target.
Books a Million. That's it. Yeah, there's one.
Walmart. Yeah.
We got eBay.
I almost said
My son's saying
eBay.
eBay.
Yeah.
eBay.
eBay.
I get a lot of things from like thrift books.
Yeah.
And
Ollie's
second sale,
carries,
half price books. Especially
yeah,
the older
Ollie's,
ones are easier to find.
Ollie's also carries a lot of these books.
Ollie's. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So that's if you want, if you're at an Ollie's, check out the book section there. They carry a lot of Amish fiction there and a lot of other books. They have a pretty good book.
But they can be ordered directly off your website too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. You can order. Yeah. We've got the links
that's
to
probably
everything.
the best way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else we're going to talk about, or did we get it all?
Nope, that was it.
That was it.
I have a little. Yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about the Written in Love, but we've already. That's fine.
We covered it already.
We've been kind of long a little bit, which is fine. But yeah.
All right, then I guess we will see you guys back. Actually, so this video should be on my channel this time, right? I think so. Mm-hmm. So in 2 months, when we come back for part 6, we will be back over on Kathleen's channel. But yeah, we'll see you guys then. Have fun crocheting. Have fun reading. I will have my March episode should drop on March 1st. So if you are a Duck Potatoes World fan, you can be getting an update on everything that I'm doing on March 1st. Do you have anything else coming up? Your 2 new books aren't coming up anytime super soon.
No,
not
August and September. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have are you doing any book signings or anything like that coming up?
I am. I'm doing something called Plots and Crafts, and I'll talk about it more in my newsletter. But I'm doing it at my local library in Cabot. We're starting out, and basically what it is. I'm glad you asked this because I'm glad we can bring it up. What I'm doing is I will read half a chapter or a chapter to everybody who comes to the event. And you are to bring a quiet craft. You can bring your crochet, your knitting, your embroidery, Sudoku, coloring, whatever you want to do. And you can do that while I'm reading to you. So it's kind of reminiscent of when you were in school and your teacher read to you and you had nap time. And you can take a nap. The goal is to just have a
Don't take a nap. You won't be able to hear the story.
Well, no, because the goal, no, I would not be offended. And here's why, because the goal is to relax, unwind, and unplug and just have it's going to be 2 hours, 1.5 to 2 hours. And so it's very relaxing. So if somebody wants to take a nap, if they're tired, take a nap. I won't be offended. We'll have snacks. And then after that, I'll bring up my crochet. We'll do a Q&A, just kind of sitting around like we're friends and all that kind of stuff. And so that's called Plots and Crafts. And that's a new thing. Plots and Crafts.
The first one will be in Cabot.
Yeah, the first one is at the Cabot Library. I'm going to do one in Fayetteville. I've got a couple scheduled. April. Yeah, the date in Cabot is March 5th.
Okay,
that's
so
a
March 5th
Friday.
in Cabot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the launch. There's another word I'm looking for. It's not that, but that's okay. And then in October, I've got some scheduled in Ohio, and I'll talk more about that closer to time. So we're just, I talked to a bookstore actually yesterday about setting something up in April. So we're just trying to kind of feel people
Are you going
out
to have a
see.
place on your website where people can see where the next Plots and Crafts is going to be?
That's a good idea. Yes, we will. Thank you, Katie.
Well, because, if you come anywhere near me or someplace where I'm going to be, I might pop in. I would like to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it would kind of be like the Plots and Crafts World Tour without the world.
Right. Plots and
Yeah,
Crafts.
but no, the Plots and Crafts Tour. Yeah, that's a great
Tour.
idea, because I was kind of thinking just put it in my newsletter or putting it, trying to get back on social media is always a challenge for me, but putting it out there. And I've got somebody that's also helping me to get more word out. So, but yeah, no, we need to have that on
Maybe
the
have it
website.
like a calendar on your website that just has
Yeah.
Plots and Crafts, upcoming Plots and Crafts too. But yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll pay better attention to the newsletter, which I clearly didn't
Okay.
read well this last time.
Yes.
I know. Shame on me. Sorry.
No. No. I'm behind on a bunch of stuff I got to read too. So we're always behind. Okay. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us, and thank you for being a part of the RCal, and have fun. We'll see you next time.
One more thing. If you
Oh.
have a question for the author, because
Oh, yeah.
nobody seems to have questions except me, and I always come up with some, but I would love to know what questions you have for author Kathleen Fuller. If you have a question for the author about her books or about her writing process or anything like that, make sure you send it to the email. I'll put the email in the description box down below, and I'll put it on the screen. It's my email, but I can't bring it to mind right this second. I think it's c2cy2@gmail.com or yt@gmail. I'm not sure what it is, but it'll be on the screen. It'll be in the description box down below. Email me with your question for the author if you have one. And then we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.